Taiwan. I'm Ethan Liu with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. The U.S. has imposed fresh tariffs on countries including Taiwan, but analysts here say they're cautiously optimistic about the impacts. Aichi reports.
The U.S. imposed new tariffs on its trading partners on Friday after the temporary global tariff expired. Taiwan received the same 10% tariff rate as before, which experts say puts the country in a good position, especially for some sectors.
台湾的关税其实是10%不叠加，那相较于一些国家来讲，特别是一些韩国、日本来讲，台湾其实是占优势。那这个对传产其实是比较有利。
With competitors such as Japan and South Korea facing new tariffs of 12.5%, Taiwanese manufacturers welcomed the news.
当然好啊，就是相对的竞争力嘛。如果说比别人少了2.5%，当然我们的进口成本就比别人少了2.5%，那当然我们的优势就有啊。
But this isn't the end of U.S. tariffs. Another investigations into alleged overcapacity is still in the works. Experts expect a decision in the coming weeks.
那比较影响的当然是产能比较过剩的成熟制程这一块。不过，因为在这几年来，因为国内的二线的晶圆代工业者，其实也本来就比较生怕未来中长期会跟这个中国的红色供应链，那么在价格上做正面的一个对决，所以在这几年就早已经开始进行了相当的一个转型的工作。那么，甚至现在目前很多二线的晶圆代工业者也开始搭载到 AI 目前的一个浪潮的列车。
With more U.S. tariffs in the pipeline, experts say Taiwan should remain cautious and use its current tariff advantage to strengthen its supply chain resilience. Chris Ma, NIT for TaiwanPlus.
For more on the latest tariff developments, Aichi spoke with U.S. trade lawyer James Ransdell.
Could you briefly walk us through the current U.S. tariff situation and the tariffs the U.S. has imposed on its trading partners such as Taiwan?
The Trump administration put on sort of a Band-Aid regime under Section 122, and those just ended there on Friday, United States time. So in exact sync with that expiration, the Trump administration announced on Thursday the final set of tariffs under one of two different Section 301 investigations. This one was focused on forced labor. Two countries in particular, Taiwan and then the countries of the European Union, came away with a notably better arrangement than under Section 122. So that's going to be a 10% tariff that is inclusive of the MFN rate. So if sort of the standard, run-of-the-mill applies to everybody, most favored nation tariff associated with a particular good is 10% or more, then there will be no additional tariff. If it's less, then the additional tariff is going to make up the difference.
How do you expect the Section 301 investigations to evolve? Is Taiwan in a relatively stronger position, given that it reached a trade agreement with the U.S. earlier this year?
There's a totally separate set of investigations that does also rope in Taiwan, and those are the ones that are also under Section 301. They're focused on structural excess capacity, and so we don't know what exactly those are going to look like, and whether the outcome of those is going to be more tariffs. I refer to the forced labor tariffs as version 1.0. There is authority in the statute to modify that. And the Trump administration, the first Trump administration made use of that at several points. So when they were imposing Section 301 tariffs on the People's Republic of China, they sort of changed those at several different points and expanded them and raised them and even walked them back a little bit. So that's also a possibility. I think Taiwan's position overall, because of the MOU and because of the ART, even though the ART hasn't taken effect yet, because they've gone through those procedures, they're in a much better position.
How do you foresee the final U.S. tariff outcome for Taiwan?
I think the answer is most likely to be that it looks a lot like the outcome or what is sort of sketched out in the Agreement on Reciprocal Trade and the Memorandum of Understanding. The U.S. administration has different statutory authorities that can get them to essentially the same result. I think is largely the bottom line here. So I think one of the big questions is sort of win more than anything, especially with respect to the semiconductor sector and the ICT sort of sphere, the tariffs on those products. I think that is not so clear when exactly that's going to crystallize and come into force, because thus far it's been a great benefit to industries, well, I guess those industries out of Taiwan, because their products have largely escaped most of these tariffs.
That was U.S. trade lawyer James Ransdell. The main opposition Kuomintang is holding a food safety protest outside the presidential office. The rally comes after cooking oil containing excessive levels of a carcinogen was found to have been used by over 1,000 businesses and in student lunches at hundreds of schools. Some KMT members have called for the premier and the health minister to step down. Several KMT city mayors are expected to speak at the protest, as well as the heads of the party and its allied Taiwan People's Party. The premier has said people have the right to protest, but they should discuss the issue rationally. Nearly a month after contaminated cooking oil sparked a food safety scandal in Taiwan, officials from companies involved have finally broken their silence. Ellen Lu reports.
Bowing in apology, the heads of 3 Taiwanese companies publicly apologized after tainted cooking oil was found to contain excessive levels of a carcinogen. Nearly a month after a soybean oil product made by Central Union Oil Corporation was found to be contaminated, the chairs of the company's 3 major shareholders announced how they would respond. One company said it will recall all cooking oil products manufactured in the last few months.
泰山针对4到6月，不管是那7批匡列或19批合格，泰山一律全部下架，全部回收，不再上市销售。
Another company's chair said it has started developing its own testing capabilities, so consumers can trace products and verify their quality.
福茂厂内实验室目前已经着手建立苯评比自主检验能力。当我们的实验室建立完毕后，将可再提高对于产品的检验频率。
Taiwan's Food and Drug Administration said that local health authorities should have a uniform standard when handling the tainted oil case. It added that local health departments will oversee the recall and destruction of the affected products to ensure they do not re-enter the market.
将透过行政院的跨部会机制，协调环境部督导地方环保机关，配合地方卫生局，共同进行废弃油脂处理方式，协助业者依法完成产品销毁作业。
Taiwanese authorities are continuing to trace where the contaminated cooking oil was distributed. John Su and Anna Lu for TaiwanPlus.
Lawmakers have passed a bill providing subsidies for children in an effort to boost the country's declining birth rate, but the measure has drawn mixed reactions.
为我们孩子所存的第一桶金，能够以法律的位阶来鉴定，我想这才是一个长久的解决处理我们少子化危机。
无限制存款，所以差距无限大。 到底是利息、税收要多少？没有人知道。所以，我们从预算法的角度，我们反对；从设计的角度，它也不便明。
The new law requires the government to set up personal savings accounts for children, incorporating a child growth subsidy program. It provides about $1,800 a year for every child until age 18. The opposition Taiwan People's Party estimated that the program would cost the government around $6.7 billion in its first year alone. The proposal was put forward by opposition parties, with the ruling party criticizing it for further widening the wealth gap. The new program will take effect next year. An early 2000s schoolyard craze is spinning its way back across Asia, packing out arenas from the markets of Hong Kong to the campaign trail here in Taiwan. Rhys Ayers reports.
3, 2, 1. Remember these? Well, Felix Yip does, just about. The first Beyblades are a couple years older than 25-year-old Yip, but he remembers the craze from his primary school days. And now he's playing again, part of a revitalized community of enthusiasts taking their battles to markets in Hong Kong.
I've already managed to rope a few friends who never played Beyblades into getting hooked, and perhaps that's part of the fun. It's what keeps me playing.
The Beyblade craze is sweeping Asia, with manufacturer Takara Tomy reporting massive spikes in demand across Japan, Hong Kong and Taiwan, fueled by new battle tech, a pinch of nostalgia and a need for a physical escape from a digital age.
In this materialistic age, people yearn for something they can actually get their hands on, as we're usually just fiddling with our phones and can't seem to find anything with physical presence.
The game is getting so popular it's fueling a black market in China. In early July, tens of thousands of fakes were seized at Taiwan's border. Even Taiwanese politicians are getting in on the action, with Taipei mayoral candidate Puma Shen attending a Beyblade tournament in the capital. But back in Hong Kong's packed markets, the noise is purely about the game itself, where for these players, nothing beats the simple, physical thrill of the spin. Eason Chen and Rees for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwanese-American basketball prospect Adam Hinton has officially begun his professional career in Taiwan, signing with the Kaohsiung Aquas. Our reporter Cindy Chi sat down with the rising star to discuss his decision to play in Taiwan and his goals for the future.
Now in Taiwan, it's a new chapter in your life. So what made you decide to start playing professionally here in Taiwan then?
That would be just the Aquas. I mean, they made me so confident in wanting to return, but aside from the Aquas, I would just say the fans. They've been so supportive in Jones Cup, Asia Cup, and I could not thank them more for their support. Like, I just feel like there's so much great energy. Like when I stepped on the court, even when I was watching the TPBL playoff games, I mean, just absolutely electric. And it's hard not to have a ton of adrenaline from it, like just ready to go and wanting to perform in front of everybody. And also they're just very personable. Just getting to meet some fans, it's hard not to want to give back to them.
So can you tell me more about you playing basketball? What's your style? Tell us more about it, because some people can be more aggressive, some people communicate more. What about you?
I'm definitely working on being more communicative, and also I'll definitely learn some Chinese phrases so I can just communicate with my teammates a little better. But I would also say I'm just a very high energy player, and I'm always just looking to make the smart play.
Throughout your years playing the sport, has there ever been this time when you're like, oh my gosh, I'm done. I really want to give up because like things aren't just working out for me? Have you had those moments?
I would say there's definitely times where basketball can be frustrating, but I think I've always just been a very resilient person, just thanks to my parents, and they've really helped me get through those valleys, and I feel like they just listen to me. Just taking time to listen to me and reassure me. They're very good at just reading my mood and what I want to do, what I don't, and they know my goals. So even if I may not want to in the moment, they know it is what I want long term, and they just try to support as much as they can.
So usually when I talk to athletes, I always ask them, like, having the sport part of your life, doing it like all the time, what has the sport taught you?
I would say the sport has taught me to be resilient, but it's also taught me how to be hardworking. But on the flip side, it's also taught me that sometimes rest is needed. And it's also taught me to just always focus on having fun. You know, you're gonna burn out eventually if you're not having fun. So to find joy and to love what you do for a living is an absolute blessing.
That was basketball player Adam Hinton. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we take a look at the birthday message exhibit for Punch, a popular monkey at a Japanese zoo. I'm Ethan. Take care, and I'll see you next time.